Hey everybody, it's been a little bit, about 5 weeks since I uploaded my last video. Yeah, I know it's been a while. So before we start this video, I'm just gonna say a couple things real quick. First off, I've been working a lot, and like when I would come home, I just wanted to fall asleep, you know, and I hung out with the family as much as I could, but we had conflicting schedules and everything like that, so it was just hard to kind of fit YouTube into there. But I'm back on to a normal working schedule now, so now I have more time. Secondly, I have gained the most subscribers in a single amount of time over these past couple months than I ever have prior. So to all of my subscribers, thank you so much for sticking around the channel, even though I hadn't been putting anything out. More content is coming, and starting with this video, actually we're going to be actually working more and more and putting more videos out. And then thirdly, for everyone wondering if the Challenger is here yet, it is not. We were actually hoping it was going to show up today. It didn't. Maybe tomorrow, although tomorrow's a Saturday, so I don't know. If it doesn't show up tomorrow, I'll be a little bummed because I'm going on vacation starting on Monday, and then I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. And I would really like to have the car during that time, and if I don't get it, oh well. So that's where I've been. Thank you to all my subscribers. Challenger's still not here yet. Oh, also, as another side note, the cicadas out here were super loud. And the couple times I did try to take a video, they were so loud I couldn't hear myself talk. The GoPro picked up the cicadas and basically blocked out my entire voice. So there's the other reason too. I think we can move on to the rest of the video at this point. So like the title says, we may have some issues going on with Tahoe. So first things first, I started noticing a little bit of a loss of power here and there. And it was whenever you would rev it, the tailpipe would blow black smoke. Fix those issues. Power's back. Turns out the issue was the spark plug. So when I bought this truck 2 years ago-ish, I didn't do too much to it. I bought it 3 days later. My wife and I drove from Maryland to Illinois, then Illinois to Arkansas, and then Arkansas back up here to Maryland. No issues with the truck when that was running, so I kind of just forgot to do a tune-up because I was like, it's running fine, it's great. So these are the spark plugs that were in it. As you can see, the electrode in the middle, it's basically burnt down to nothing. All of them are like this. Some of them, like specifically that one's pretty burnt up. A couple of them smelled like gas. So the reason why I checked the spark plugs to begin with is because when it was running, I noticed a couple of my plug wires were just rattling over here. So what I did is I was like, okay, it could just be, you know, the way the wires sit, but I might as well check and see if the plugs are loose. Turns out 6 out of 8 of these plugs were loose on this truck. So when I pulled them and looked at them, I obviously just ran over to AutoZone real quick, grabbed 8 plugs, threw them in. I have, I think they're Bosch Iridiums in here. They were like the cheapest ones at AutoZone that they had in stock, so I just threw them in. That's fine. So after I replaced all the plugs, gapped them properly, because since these ones are burned down, they weren't gapped, so it was not great. I put all the plugs back in after I gapped them. Then I ran a whole thing of, what is it, the fuel cleaner, the injector cleaner. I ran a whole bottle of injector cleaner in it on a thing of gas, and that seemed to help the power level. Now, as for the black smoke at higher RPMs coming out of the tailpipe, I had a cover on my intake right here, and it was completely disgusting, and it was actually reducing the amount of airflow that was coming through this, which was giving a bad read to the mass airflow sensor, which was probably making the car run a little rich. Therefore, black smoke at high RPM when you're on the throttle. Since I've taken the cover off and I cleaned up this filter a little bit, no more black smoke coming out of the tailpipe. Let's see, another thing that we got done to it is where these terminals, the wires were completely disgusting. I don't know if you can see that one down in there, but it was corroded to hell. So I took a wire brush to my positive wire, cleaned it up a little bit, and put it back in. I no longer have those weird, what seems like dips in voltage. So that issue's been resolved, but there's a couple more things that we got to do. So the first thing is I have a power steering line that has a leak down in here. I recently power washed down in here, so it's a little bit more clean, but as you can see, it's like some of this stuff's just coated in, yeah, that's power steering fluid. And you can I don't know if you can see it, but like right down in here on top of the hose, that's where it seems like the fluid is, you know, coming from. So we have a new power steering line. We just gotta put it on, like that's in the back. The other thing is I have a small tiny leak coming out of the rear diff. I have a new rear diff cover that I'm just gonna put on. I went on to, so I have a new rear diff cover. And this one, this particular flavor, has a fill plug here for the top. So I have no idea how bad the plug actually, so on these from the factory, they didn't come with the plug on the differential cover. They came with the plug like on the differential housing, like towards the transmission on the differential housing, like it's closer towards the front than it is on the back. This truck has 286,000 miles on it, actually 287 now. That thing's probably rusted on there and not coming off, so I'm just not going to deal with it, and I just got a cover with the plug on it, so we're going to do that. So a couple other things we got to get done to the truck as well is, well, as you can see, this tire keeps going flat. Blah, it's shot. Actually, most of these tires, it's about time to just get rid of them. But secondly, these brakes, they got to be changed, and soon. So we got to do the brakes too. So yeah, just stuff keeps piling up. But the major concern is I have a massive oil leak now, and I've been fighting the oil leak on this thing ever since I got it 2 years ago, but it's starting to get worse. I don't know if you can see under here, but there's a massive leak coming out, and it is coming from the back. Basically where the transmission meets the engine block, that's where it's coming from. So there's a couple things that I could have done. There was a oil bypass thing on the side of the block, that if you were to have engine oil cooler lines is where it'd plug in. If you don't have the oil cooler lines, you got this little bypass that sticks onto the side of the engine. Normally the gasket on that will fail, and it'll cause the oil to drain down the side of the block and to make it appear like you have a rear main seal leak. So I double and triple checked that to make sure. I wiped all the oil off, I checked it. The oil leak is not coming from there. So then I pulled the inspection cover on the bell housing and stuck my finger in there, and it's pretty wet. So we have a rear main seal leak. My only issue is, do I pay the $1,500 to get that fixed, or do I just leave it? Because if I just leave it, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. But if I pay to have it fixed, I'm putting $1,500 into a Tahoe that has almost 300,000 miles on it, and who knows until the next major thing goes wrong. That also brings me to the other thing, like, do I still give this truck to my brother for his first car? Do I run it till it dies? Or, because vehicles are actually going for a decent price, do I try selling this truck right now, let it be someone else's problem, get a few grand out of it, or maybe $2 grand? I think I could get between 2 and 3 grand for this truck, maybe. It has no rust on it, has a brand new suspension. Aside from the engine leak, this engine's running, or the oil leak, this engine's running pretty strong. I have no transmission problems. I think I could probably get 25, maybe 3 grand out of this truck, who knows. So yeah, that's the update. Once I get the rear main, once I get the diff cover on and I replace the power steering line, I'll get another update on the truck, and then from there we'll just figure out what's gonna happen. Because I've been wanting a 2500 for a really long time, and now might be the time to sell the truck and start saving up money to get a 2500, and then I'll just daily drive the Challenger for a few months until I get a 2500. Maybe, I don't know. But thank you all for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below on what do you think I should do with this truck. Should I keep it till it dies, still give it to my brother, just let it be his problem, or try to sell it and just forget about it and let it be someone else's? All right. Also, if you want more content, subscribe. Yeah, I think that'll be it. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.